right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. What are we doing today? Another episode of the future award-winning series Jukebox from Hell. Yes, Jukebox from Hell, episode 46 on your scorecards. Excuse me. Hopefully, you had a chance to check out the last episode that we did. Oh, check it. There's a lot of episodes in the library. If you haven't had a chance to see them, go take a look. You might learn and learn some things and maybe find a new band you may like. But for today, anyway, we're going to be talking about this album here, RTZ, otherwise known as Return to Zero, and uh, and this album came out in 1991. Yes. So let's show you here on a CD collecting standpoint. You're going to be looking at this. Okay. Here's the back on this. Now, mine, of course, is a record club edition. Remember record clubs? Remember when we used to do that stuff? So you've got your inlay tray. You got your band photo here. You seem like a nice bunch of guys, eh? and I'll tell you this. Just a lot of interesting. Here's your lyric sleeve. Okay, you're gonna have all that, and then you got one last photograph that looks like that when they're on the railroad tracks. All right. So research from today. I did go. I looked them up a little bit on Wiki and All Music, and I also went into a Boston band forum. And I know you're like, Boston? What the hell's Boston got to do with this? Actually, it seems like a bunch. Okay. So, a little research here. So, Return to Zero, a band that has, or had, excuse me, two original members of Boston. That's right. Singer Brad Delp, and also co writer of many Boston hits. He leaves the band in 1989 and, wanting to write and perform elsewhere, gets back with his original Boston guitar buddy, Barry Gadrew. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Who was fired from the band sometime between late 1980, early 1981 by Tom Schultz, having to do with the whole Barry Gadrew solo album promotional fiasco. Okay, it wasn't Barry's fault. Really wasn't. But so then other band members, we got Brian Mays. Brian Mays comes from the touring version of Orion the Hunter. Yeah, if you remember Orion the Hunter, when they put out that soul album in 1984. So You Ran. Good stuff. Good stuff. You should be checking that one out too if you haven't. But Brian Mays comes from the touring version of this. From the 1984-85 tour of Orion. Mays and drummer Dave Stefanelli also after that were working with Nick Lowe. Yeah, they ended up working with Nick Lowe. And then Tim Archibald, the drummer, was in the band New Man, which cut a album for Epic. So you got here several singles. Face the Music was number 5 on the US rock charts. There's Another Side was number 19 on the same ones. Until Your Love Comes Around was number 26 on the US pop, and All You've Got was number 56 on the same chart. That's right. So, track by track analysis. So, Face the Music, right? Track 1. My favorite off this. Yeah, definitely has that Boston feel to it for sure. We go into track 2. There's Another Side. A good rocker about poisonous relationships. There's always another side. His, hers, and the truth. Track 3. All You've Got. Truth, I almost forgot this song. This was barely played on the radio, at least, in my area in Northern Illinois. Give It All You've Got in Life, indeed. Track 4, This Is My Life. Good song, but it kind of drags a little. Track 5, Rain Down on Me. It's an okay song. Track 6, Every Door Is Open. It's also okay. Every door is open to my heart for you. Track 7, Devil to Pay. Song about partying and the afterwards of it. I'd really like it better if the horns, background singers, and the piano weren't there. Kind of does throw off the song some, at least in this guy's opinion. Track 8, Until Your Love Comes Back Around. A beautiful ballad on heartbreak and hopeful return redemption. I always loved Brad Delp's voice. This is a great example of why. Seriously. I could have seen this on a Boston album too, actually. Track 9, Living for the Rock and Roll. Parts of this sound like my younger life. the uh, the sax does seem slightly annoying at times on this track. Track 10, Hard Time, parentheses in the big house. A nice surprise here. This should have been a single for a hit here, and I mean that. They boo-booed on that, Giant Records did. Then we finish off track 11, Return to Zero. A rocker to end this that the lyrics still apply even more here today than they were when in 1991. Go check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about on that. So, that's to close that album. Of course, there's an afterwards. There's always an afterwards. There was some touring before and after the release. The band wanted out of their contract with Giant Records, though, due to they did not think that there was enough promotional push. I don't think it was such a bad job on that part. Problem is that I told you that you had songs that charted. The album didn't at all, at least not in the United States. They did try to get a new label, but while all this was going on, Brad goes back to Boston, ends up co-writing 2 songs, but no vocals on the 1994 album Walk On from Boston. But, he tours on the album afterwards. Such a strange scenario. This puts an end to RTZ, but enough material was recorded with the lineup to get the album Lost released in September 1998. More music gets released in 2004 called Lost and Found. And in 2007, one of the last things that was done with Brad, you got Brad and Barry and another member of RTZ, I can't remember who, along with original Boston drummer Sib Hasheen, doing the song Rockin' Away. Once again, another song that could have been in the Boston Classic catalog. Now, are you a Boston fan? Are you an RTZ fan? Did you end up getting this when this first came out? And I'm going to tell you, originally, no, I didn't. But it was funny because I would see this in the clearance, like, I'm not kidding, within a year or less. I actually saw this in clearance racks for like $1.99. And that's how I pulled the trigger on this. So check out RTZ. In my opinion, should have been at least a top 50 album. So you may be asking yourself, and even if you're not, you're still going to get it anyway. What is going to be the next episode of Jukebox from Hell, otherwise known as episode 47? Now, we're going to go back into the 80s here, September 1983 to be precise. This final album from this solo band project, because the band, in essence, has been resurrected since 2022, but this was the last album in September 1983. His third solo band project album from the Joe Perry Project, Once a Rocker, Always a Rocker. And that's going to be the next episode of Jukebox from Hell. Now, we're almost getting our way towards the end of season 5. There's still a little wiggle room if you got suggestions for future episodes. But you know what, guys? You take care. God bless. Rock on. And always powered by coffee each and every time. Once again, thank you very much for being here.